Blessed day to all of you, dear friends here, and those who are joining us through the live stream. I would like to focus this reflection on the first reading from the book of the prophet Hosea. The relationship between God and humans many times strong but also challenging, especially in making justice and solidarity triumph among men and women. And this relationship finds in the love of spouses the most suggestive and striking image to describe what is this. And in this book of the prophet Hosea, he employs his very own experience of marriage, infidelity, and forgiveness, etc., as the very image of how God relates with his people. And God, we find here, loves his people with unfathomable tenderness. But according to the prophet Hosea, this love is unfathomable, tender, and not corresponded by a love of the partner, the people of God. So we have here a love highly dramatic, in which the wife betrays her husband, but he loves her with unconditional love. And he bets for the possibility of redeeming the spouse and start a new love story. God, in his love, in spite of, for his people, does not renounce this relationship of love in spite of the betrayals, enslavement to idols of the Canaanian world. God wants to start a new love story with his people, a new start, a new desert, that living away that which would create confusion has interrupted their communication of love. And here there is a suggestive image of God bringing his people to the desert. And we know very well that the desert is a very important place, image of God, of meeting God in the most sincere way, because there are no other distractions in the desert of nothingness. What matters are the essentials, and that is God and the heart that listens. And spiritual writers would use this same image of the desert for Christians to grow in our love for God. Meaning that may we learn in the midst of all our preoccupations every day, of the so many things, that we may be able to, as they would call it, the new desert is being able to detach ourselves from these concerns and being able to open ourselves to God, no, in and allow that relationship to grow. As one of the many of these desert writers, no, spiritual writers, they would invite us that indeed this experience of desert, meaning allowing God to enter our lives in the midst of all our confusions and other concerns, is a new way of experiencing this desert where God wants to lead these people in the first reading today to renew their love affair, their love story. It is in this experience of encounter with God, even in the midst of all our concerns, in our worship, but also in our work and family concerns, it is possible. Spiritual writers tell us that we can have this experience of the desert to remedy our dissipation and have our focus on the essentials of life, especially our relationship with God. And the Holy Mass is a beautiful encounter with this God who loves us. We can also call it a desert encounter because it is God, Jesus Himself, who comes to us in His Word, in the Eucharist, and in the presence of the community. We ask then the Lord that may we have that capacity to detach from our concerns and focus on the essentials of life, especially our loving relationship